MVPs, what's up, guys? Hey, gonna do the results show for UFC 322. It was JDM, Jack Della Maddalena versus Makhachev Islam. Uh, we'll be going over the whole fight card. I'll be talking about every single fighter in this video. Please watch it at 1.5 playback speed. But before we get into my assessment of the fighters and how they performed, let's go talk about the chart. Shout out to the MVPs who watched the video, listened to everything, took good notes. I don't know how you didn't finish green. I just don't know how you didn't finish green. This is phenomenal. We went undefeated on locks. There were 3 locks there. We did miss 1 lock prop. That's unfortunate. If you parlayed all 4 locks, I don't recommend it, but it is what it is. Nonetheless, we had 2 parlays. They both hit. Congratulations. And we went off on a tear. Now, I missed 5 bets on the whole fight, right? I missed 5 things. What did I miss? I missed 4 moneyline underdogs. That sucks. I want to hit them. I do. But in reality, do I really think Eric McConaughey's beaten Suskarnov? No. I just know this guy sucks and he shouldn't be a minus 1,100. That kind of deal. And we'll talk about it. Fatima Klein, do I really think Angela Hill's winning the fight? Not necessarily. I have this in black. This is in purple. What it means is this is more of a priority on the bet than the actual fight. That's because black lean hits at 64%. A purple money line hits at 38%. What would you rather bet on? This one or this one? The odds or what the results and payout are irrelevant. You got to get it right. So some people will be like, well, Rico, those percentages don't matter. I need to know what ROI is. You guys are idiots. What matters is getting it right. Like, period. Get it right, and that'll get you in the right spot to make money for it. And we'll talk about all the fighters. There was 1 cancellation fight. I didn't bother taking credit, but I was never going to pick Malcolm Wellmaker. Doesn't matter. I wasn't going to pick him against whoever the hell that kid is. I'll show him here in a second. And there's a reason for it. I don't believe in the way Malcolm Wellmaker fights. I've told you guys this multiple times. Then we get to the last 3 fights. If you go to Patreon, and it'll be pretty cool if I do this. Let me show you guys something. During the fights, to shout out to everybody who shows up on the live stream on the Discord stage, I appreciate you guys. But during the fights on Patreon, I see how well we're doing, and I already know the law of averages. And if you don't know what the law of average is, it's the reality that you're going to eventually miss. And there are some nights I go undefeated. There are. But if you go in here and you look at this, I posted this 10 hours ago. So during the fights, we had just got Carlos Prates right. So right before we missed the last 3, I post this and I say to you guys, take the last 3 fights off. We're way up. Now, why would I say take the last 3 fights off? It's because I have a lot of respect for all 6 fighters. There's no point in trying to bet them now. It would have been a lot smarter to be like, yo, parlay Islam Makhachev and Valentina Shevchenko and put Michael Morales. It would have been great to do that, right? But that's not the reality of the situation. This is me giving you advice. I'm supposed to give you advice as an analyst. So I give you advice, take the last 3 fights off. Whether you do it or not, that's your business. But this is what I'm instructing you to do because we're way up. We just hit all of our locks. We just hit our parlays. We're on top of the world. Hope you did. I highly doubt you did, but shout out to you guys. All right? So we'll talk about the fighters, though. Enough of that. Congratulations, MVPs. We do this year-round. We get all the fights, and we try to dominate every fight card. There's 13 weeks in the NFL. Or, I'm sorry, in college football. There's 42 weeks in the UFC. So we have a lot of chances to win money throughout the year. I hope you enjoy it for what it is. But let's talk about these fighters. So in the first fight of the night, give me a second here. Let me scroll all the way down. First fight of the night was Borschav, whatever, and Slavaklaus. And he was fighting Matheus Camilo. If you're watching me for the first time, you're like, man, who is this guy? What is he doing? He's just fucking up all the names or whatever. Dude, it is 9 in the morning. I was up till 2 in the morning. I'm extremely tired. I don't give a fuck. I just call these guys names whatever I want. It was VB versus MC. Who cares? I use jersey numbers in football. I'll just call them whatever I want. That doesn't look like English to me. It was a Russian versus a Brazilian. And before this fight, I talked about Matheus Camilo is younger. He's more athletic. He's theoretically supposed to win this fight. I get it. But he's never really impressed me with the way he fights. He never has. And I think he's limited all the way around. As a fighter, as an athlete, everything. He's just kind of okay. And then I told you that Borschav, while he looks good, and you believe he's good because he can throw, and if you listen to the announcers, they're going to talk like this guy's a world-class boxer and a striker, and he's got that grit and that toughness. He doesn't wear damage well. He's got an ugly face. Starts bleeding right away. That's terrible for judges. He also showed up with 2 knee pads on or 2 knee yeah, he had, like, these knee things going, and he's not a grappler. This guy can get taken down by a sneeze. So if he's ever fighting anybody with any wrestling acumen, you're gonna get taken down. This guy Camilo over here is not a great wrestler. He's a grappler. Brazilians aren't typically great wrestlers, but he got 5 out of his 10 takedowns. He just shot 10 times. And there was no doubt he won on every single scorecard. Most of the scores or most of the judges don't give you any type of points or don't give you the round just for getting takedowns anymore. You got to do damage with the takedowns. He didn't do any damage with the takedowns. He really didn't. Like, this is crazy. He threw half of the strikes that Borshev threw. Half. Borshev threw 201 strikes. This guy only threw 100. So you want to talk about a low output guy who went out there and got 5 takedowns and did nothing with them because he had no control with the takedowns. Couldn't hold you down. Couldn't ride you. Couldn't end the rounds this way. It's crazy. You got 5 takedowns and only 3 minutes of control time. You're really bad, Mateus Camilo. I don't like you. I will not believe in that guy at all. And then Borshev, if he's fighting anybody with a fucking pulse, you got to take the other person. Like, this guy is quietly 8-7 in his UFC career. I haven't seen a record like this since women MMA. No dude should be in the UFC as a 50-50 fighter. Not 50-50 fighter because you might win or lose a fight in the UFC. No. I'm talking about overall in his career. This guy's maybe going to win, maybe not. And he's on the early prelims against bums. I think he's a terrible fighter. The idea of him is way better than he is. So we won't ever take Vyacheslav Borshev. Like, we just won't. Slava Claus, I don't give a fuck what his name is, bro. The dude doesn't bang the way he needs to. I think fundamentally he just doesn't throw with bad intentions. And he probably lost his birth certificate because he looks older than he actually is. If you don't know the reference, it's what happens in third world countries. Shout out to Russia. Next fight. Baysanger Suskunov versus Eric McConaughey. Yeah, this guy, Suskunov, he's undefeated 11-0. His ceiling is boo-boo to fool, bro. This guy sucks. I've watched him now. This is my 3rd time seeing him. So we saw him on Dana White Contender Series. Then he fought on a card 4 days later. And now he did this fight here. And I've already identified the way he fights. He's got a great front kick. He does. I'm not saying he's got a great front kick. He's got nothing else. Nothing. He can't bang in the pocket. He can't impose his will. He's not a great wrestler. He's not a great grappler. I don't like him at all. And this minus 1,500 is the biggest fraud you'll ever see in your life. Minus 1,500? Are you shitting me, dude? Every single time he fights, you got to go take the other guy. He's going to lose at some point. You cannot make any money betting on a minus 1,500. So there's no point in feeling bad about it. You can avoid it if you want to. But this guy sucks. He really does. Eric McConaughey, I've watched Eric McConaughey get absolutely just ran through by other prospects. If you're looking at this guy in his career, how many times have we seen him? He lost this one right here to Ruzaboyev. Do you understand that Nursultan Ruzaboyev is 6'5", long strikes from a third world country, just like this Suskunov dude. But Ruzaboyev went out there and worked McConaughey. Absolutely worked him. It was a lock of the night, no sweat, nothing. This Suskunov dude, he went out there and got clinched in the first round by Eric McConaughey, who's 35 years old and has no athleticism whatsoever. This guy, and he got knocked out in the 3rd round. Oh, Rico was a clean knockout. Okay, keep talking about them clean knockouts. And this kid was cocky, arrogant, showing off in the 1st round until he realized, oh man, I'm in a dogfight. There was 2 frauds on this card, and Suskunov is one of them. He got away with a win here because he's fighting a bum. And the other one is Wellmaker. And I've been on this from the minute I've seen them fight because I watch fighters for a living. And I can tell when you don't fundamentally fight correctly. And I'm not one of these guys who's like set in his ways. Like, oh, that guy's doing too many flashy things. No, because I take Carlos Prates. I pick Carlos Prates as a lock. And he does a lot of flashy things. And he smokes cigarettes. Like, when I look at this Suskunov dude, I get it. They want to hype up somebody. They need an undefeated prospect getting a bunch of knockouts. This is fucking Don King right now. They're out there doing the Don King thing. They're giving opponents, like they're giving you just scrub opponents so you can keep starching them. This dude didn't starch Eric McConaughey. He won by knockout, and it was a punch in the 3rd round. But at no point did I feel like this guy was dominating. Nope. He struggled so bad he shot 7 takedowns, and he's not good at takedowns. He shot 7 It's supposed to be this ultimate striker, dude. You're an amazing striker. You landed 105 strikes. And the guy's still standing. Tell that last one. You're not an ass kicker, bro. You're not even real. Yeah, I thought he was getting outstruck. I thought McConaughey was working the dude. For real. And McConaughey's a straight journeyman. You're struggling. I got it. Siskinov beat up a bunch of fucking Uber drivers in Russia. A bunch of drunk on vodka Uber drivers. He ain't beating up Americans. Not if you went that far and had to dig that deep against Eric McConaughey. Let me give you guys to you straight. When he was done with this fight, he called out Bo Nickel and Chimaev. Look, man, you can't go to the third round, look exhausted, and call out Bo Nickel. Do you know what Bo Nickel's going to do to your ass? He's going to put you in diapers, bro. You're going to be drinking through a straw. Bo Nickel, who, by the way, was on this fight card, they're going to get the same amount of rest, and the UFC guys might give this kid Bo Nickel. He's not even earned it. He hasn't earned the right to fight Bo Nickel, but he will get his ass handed to him. I think he'll get knocked out in the first round. This guy sucks. I'm convinced. Angela Hill, Fatima Klein. So Angela over the hill Hill here. She's just old. She's getting old and slow. She brings nothing to the fight. She's not here to bang. She doesn't hurt you in any way. I don't know who gave her a round. One of the judges gave her a round. You need to investigate that judge. He probably had her on a +3.5 or something like that, right? Like, there's props out there where if she just wins one round on all the scorecards, you get it. She could have won. There's no way she should have won a round in this fight. As a matter of fact, one of the judges had 30-26. 30-27 makes sense. 30-26, a bit egregious, but 28-29, fucking immediately call whoever Tom Hanks was playing in Catch Me If You Can. Call the FBI. Get somebody. My goodness. Angela Hill's a good fighter. She was good for many years. She's not good anymore. We can't. This will be the last time we ever take her. What we can tell you is that go the distance is a bet to make. She's not going to get finished. She's fought some vicious people now. She's not going to get finished. But I don't think she's going to get any easier fights. She's getting old. She didn't take off the gloves and retire. And now you're looking at Angela Hill. She's 18-16. This is a fighter that was once cut from the UFC. In her prime, they said 10 years ago she was cut. I remember it, right? I know. Thanks for the reminder. So you were once cut. So you didn't have this generational run. And now I'm looking at you, you're 18-16. What's your record in the UFC? It's probably not good. And it's getting worse. This is bad. Angela Hill needs to hang it up. She's the Jared Mercerart of the women's division. And Fatima Klein, young, strong, and Vegas is going to make you pay for her every time. I don't know who she fights next, but man, they're going to make you pay for it. They're going to make you pay for it. She's a good fighter. We'll see what happens. Dominated. Pat Sabatini, Chepe Mariscal. I told you guys before this fight, it's going to pain me to fade my boy Chepe because I like Chepe. Chepe's a dog. Chepe's made us a lot of money, MVPs. We've bet on Chepe for 2 years now, and we've never faded him in 2 years. And then this fight against Pat Sabatini, I have to trust my intuition. I have to trust my gut and tell you guys, listen, he's not exceptional at anything. Chepe is a B- wrestler, a B- striker, a B- grappler. He's got A+ grit, but he's just not an exceptional, quote-unquote, martial artist, if you will. And then he's going up against a guy like Pat Sabatini, who's a specialist. Pat Sabatini's not a great striker, but he is an A+ grappler, right? So when I do my MMA math and I sit here and I think about the fight and how it's going to go, it sucks because I'm like, man, the only way Chepe's winning this fight is by knockout. I wouldn't put my money on that, but it is by knockout. Or if he just outstrikes you and outboxes you for 15 minutes. But is Pat Sabatini going to let you just outbox him for 15 minutes? I don't think so. He's got a dog in him. He's going to go wrestle. Now, shout out to Pat Sabatini. He shot 12 takedowns in this fight. 12. And it wasn't like he got 5 takedowns. He got 7. Like I showed you earlier, a guy got 5 takedowns in 3 minutes control time. No, this man got 7 takedowns for 10 minutes control. He's doing everything right. Fundamentally, when I watch him roll and I watch him fight, he does it all right. Pat Sabatini does. I want to tell you that I feel like this fight was the pinnacle of Pat Sabatini, though. You beat Chepe. Congratulations. I got it right. I picked you to win. But who are you going to beat next? Like, who above this are you going to go beat? I would love to know, because there's some ass kickers up there. And I don't think he has the hands to compete in that regard. He'll always have the ability to grapple. He'll always have the ability to get a submission. But I don't know. Now, the two main events for fucking 50 minutes, I had to watch nut hugging, nut sniffing wrestling, and that's fine. It's part of MMA. It's hard to deal with for the casual fan. I wanted to go to bed, but Pat Sabatini's got that same recipe, right? He really does. So it's going to be a little dangerous. I know that he's 21-5. He doesn't accept losing. He's not used to losing, and shout out to him. He finds ways to win, and I picked him, and I'm proud of him. So good for him. Chepe Miriscal. Chepe fought well. He's still a dog. We're still going to pick him. He got everything in him. Just a step behind, Step behind. Losing 30-27 on every scorecard isn't a good look. It's like, hey, there's a hole in his game. There's not really a hole in his game. It's you went up against a specialist, an elite practitioner. And this is why I get paid, right? It's my job to identify when a guy that we know can win fights and is a dog is going to lose. That is my job. And I don't take it lightly, and I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of you guys if you listened and trusted me. Shout out to you. And I know some MVPs still took Chepe because he's so good to you and you can't leave him. It's like that girl that you want to break up with, but she got that crazy head game. Yeah, I get it, but you got to roll out sometimes. All right, next one. Listen, you should have sold everything you own and put it on Kyle Dawkins, straight across. Not parlayed, nothing. Like, I parlayed Kyle Dawkins on 2 different parlays on the card. But this isn't about Kyle Dawkins being an amazing fighter. It isn't. The Darce Knight, if you will. He went out there. The Darce Knight won by Darce choke. He submitted the all-time great submission artist. And I talked about this with the MVPs. I said, hey, guys, I think he's going to win by either knockout or club and sub. So let's double chance it. We'll take sub and knockout. I was 100% right. This fight was over in less than a minute. Jared Marshart, for 3 fights now, he has made us the most money possible. This is not a real fighter. This is the easiest call you'll ever see. He just constantly, I think he gets cut from the UFC. He has to be cut. I don't care how old he is, how many fights he has. He's now got 58 fights in his life. I don't care. You have to cut somebody at some point. This guy has not put up a fight ever. Like, in the last 3 fights, what has he done? He landed 0 strikes in this fight. He threw 2 punches, supposedly, but he landed no strikes in this fight. He fought like a civilian from home. He fought like a civilian from home. You can't do this. What did he do in his last fight? This is exactly what it would look like. He landed 3 strikes in 3 minutes in his last fight. So he's got 2 fights now. You train for months for these fights. You get in the cage, and he's landed 3 strikes in the last 6 months. Like, he's landed 3 more punches than you and I'm at home in my underwear. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is fucking nuts, bro. So it's the easiest money we'll ever make. Like, I'm not shying away from it. I just think it's money laundering at this point. It's too obvious. It's crazy. You should sell your car. You should sell everything you own and put it on whoever Jared Marshart is fighting. He doesn't fight. He just goes in there. If you hit him at all, he's down. He moves. I saw this in the Brad Tavares fight. He moves like an elderly person. He moves like he has back pain. Like, he should be parking in handicapped parking spaces. Thanksgiving's coming up. Thanksgiving is coming up. And you're going to have loved ones. I talk about this all the time. You're going to have loved ones come visit. And they're going to bump into something. And you're going to look at them and go, wait, we should put him in a home. Jared Marshart needs to be put in a home. That's what he needs to do. He needs to be put in a home. I've said it for a year now, and I'm not going to change it. Kyle Dawkins, young guy, kind of awkward shaped dude, doesn't look like a great fighter, but he's fine. He's going to go and bang. He's going to go we're going to see what happens next. We're going to see what happens moving forward. Who do they schedule him with? Remember, this is a guy that had already been kicked out of the UFC, dropped, bringing him back. We'll figure it out, but don't get this twisted. Like, don't see this fight and then go, man, Kyle Dawkins is amazing. Nah. He fought a fucking, I don't even know. It's It's like beating up on the special needs kids at school. You can't do that, man. Next fight. Ethan Ewing took this fight on 2 days' notice, 48 hours. He said he drove around LA looking to get physicals and stuff. Hey, yo, this guy, this picture is to scale. This man's head is massive. His face is just, it looks like the Lego head. It's hard to look at. Now, at a plus 300, I said I would take Ewing by knockout. I don't care what it was. I'm not gonna. I don't do that. I have to pick money lines. So Ewing was the pick. I didn't take credit for it. I didn't put it on the fight card because I didn't make a video on it. But I did tell the MVPs on the Discord channel and the UFC channel. If you're ever on Discord, shout out to them watching from here. If you're ever on Discord and you get to the UFC channel, you can't get in here unless you're an MVP. So it's got a lock on it. You won't be able to see it. But yeah, they came in here and asked me, and I said it's a debut, but I'll be taking Ewing. Right? You got to take him for knockout. But I'm going to be on Ewing. And shout out to the MVPs who trust me and they bet that for themselves. But I'm going to explain to you why I don't believe in Malcolm Wellmaker. If you watch this fight, you can hear Ethan Ewing's corner. His coach was so loud. He was screaming out so loud all the instructions, and Ethan Ewing was doing everything the coach was saying. And it's kind of like if you go on a double date. I've never been on a double date. My wife and I, my girlfriend and I don't need another couple there with me. I just don't hang out with other couples. I'm just not that guy. Oh, we're best friends. Yeah, that's why she's fucking that dude, bro. Like, okay, shout out to Akash Singh. You losing your girl to your best friend. Look, man, I'm just letting you know you don't want to go out there and just be around other people because then you have to start competing with the other couple. They kiss at one moment. Now you got to kiss at one moment. You've seen it in the movies, right? One couple's happy, the other's not, and you're all competing and all this stuff. And I'm bringing this up because I thought about that while I was watching this fight. You got one corner, Siegler MMA. Siegler MMA is Wellmaker's corner. They're out of Augusta, Georgia. I live in Augusta, Georgia. I live in the area. I've lived here for 10, 12 years. I've seen all the Siegler MMA signs. I know all the gyms around here. Being an MMA fighter, being a former mixed martial artist in my life and a coach, have I made my way into these gyms? A couple of them. Showed up for a day or two, rolled around, talked to the coaches, talked to whoever. I used to teach at one of the gyms around here. I just haven't ever messed with the Siegler MMA guys. I haven't, personally. No shade to them. But you can tell when it's a big fish in a little pond. And what I'm referring to is it's their first moment. It's their first fighter they've ever had make it to the big stage. And it's Malcolm Wellmaker. And he gets a knockout in Atlanta. And he's getting these flashy knockouts, these kicks and these strikes. And the whole world is enamored by what he's doing. But as an MMA fighter and as a coach, I'm watching him and I go, oh, he's fundamentally a terrible fighter. Rolls his shoulders properly, but he doesn't have his hands at his face. I can see him in the pocket just kind of leaning out of the way of strikes, and it doesn't bode well for a long MMA career. He doesn't shell up properly, doesn't strike, doesn't do anything. More importantly, I have yet to hear his corner tell him anything outside of breathe. I have yet to hear his corner yell any direction or anything during the fight, coaching your fighter to be better. And I know what this is because I experienced it in my life. And I've seen it probably 100 times. And what it is this is the best fighter in your gym. This is the meal ticket. This is the guy that's going to get you out. So Malcolm Wellmaker, you're the best fighter in that gym. There is nothing that I can say to change your perception of your coaches or your gym. Because they've been with you for this whole journey. And he's talked about it post-fight. These guys have believed in me. They gave me a place to live. They gave me food. They gave me money when I was broke, all this stuff. So he's indebted to them. That will not win you fights in the UFC. What you are doing is you're going out. If you're the best fighter in your gym, you're not going to get any better. Straight up, if you're the best fighter in your gym, you're not going to get any better. Because metal sharpens metal. This is why Fortis MMA and all the other teams, like when they get together, they bring in more champions, they bring in more people, You'll see people join the gym because you want to go train with champions and you want to learn what it is that they're doing to become champions. And if you thought you worked hard, wait till you meet another guy who works hard. It happened, I was in the military over 20 years. It would happen every unit I would go to. We'd start seeing guys get in fitness, get in this shape, go do this, go do that. And then you go and meet other guys who work just as hard as you, or probably more talented than you, and they push you to a different level if you do it right. But if you're just in a unit and you're just the top guy, nobody else can push you. You don't get any better. And I don't see any improvement for Malcolm Wellmaker. And I keep stressing this to everybody. Everyone keeps saying Malcolm Wellmaker is this prospect, undefeated prospect. And I go, he's 31. When you're 22, 23, you can fight the way he fights. And I better see marked improvement every 6 months and see you learning new skill sets and learning new traits and getting better and better and better. No, he's 31. He's hit the pinnacle of his growth. I don't think he's getting any better. I actually think he's got bad habits and he's set in his ways. And I can tell you simple things like, hey, if right there I would circle away from the power hand, I would do this. I could talk to you about the fight. I could put it on and fundamentally point out everything that's wrong. And as I point it out and talk about it, you won't hear a single word from his coach, from the corner. You won't hear anything of them giving him direction or anything. Because to them, it's just like, man, I hope he goes out there and knocks this guy out. Yeah, keep kicking his ass. Hit him hard. Yeah, you got it. It's just like, what? Because that's the best fighter in their gym. They're not ready for this. And it's no shade to them. They just got to get more fighters. They got to be more boisterous. Now, let me explain. Why am I talking about this? Because when I watch Ethan Ewing, I don't know his coach from anybody. I don't know this fighter. But I heard that coach talking during the fight, and everything he said was on point. And more importantly, his fighter was receptive to the coaching. His fighter was out there doing everything they asked of him. At one point, he even said, don't chase. And what he was referring to is cutting off the octagon and don't let him move it. Because if you chase, you're forever trailing and you never, ever get ahead. It's when you're trying to fight somebody and they're backing up and you just keep going in a straight line to try to catch up to them. It's not going to happen. You got to cut off the octagon. And it's a fundamental thing, and it happens sometimes. I mean, I just heard don't chase. And I watch Ethan Ewing's whole footpath just change. And I went, hell yeah. Even the most, you don't even have to try to make him. Maybe Ethan Ewing's the best fighter in that gym. But you can still find areas where he needs to improve and what he needs to do right. And I saw somebody more receptive. This reminds me of a really good basketball player who doesn't play well in fives. Like he's a good one-on-one player, but he can't play well in fives. And then you get to Coach K and you can't play the way they need you to at Duke. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's what Malcolm Wellmaker reminds me of. A showy guy. He reminds me of And One Mixtape. Like, go on the tour and go do all that shit, but those guys can't fundamentally play ball anywhere else. Tremendous athlete. I know he's got explosive strikes and all these other things. What doesn't he have? Well, I've seen no grappling from him, ever. Here's a fight where if you're getting pieced up and you're getting outstruck and outdogged by your opponent, then utilize that other aspect of the fight game. Go get into the grappling and show me what you got. He doesn't have it. That's not a tool in his toolbox. And if you don't have that to where you can just go get a takedown and make sure you win the fight or that round or anything, like if you don't have that, you're 31 years old. When are you going to get it? You're never going to get it. So now we already know he's a one-dimensional fighter. Let's get that out of the way right now. So if he ever fights anybody with any wrestling acumen, I think he gets taken down and gets beat up. But then from a striking standpoint, a guy on the regional scene can just show up. And I told you guys, this is a regional scene fight. If you're watching the live stream with me, I say, oh, this is regional. It's one of the fights he's used to fighting. Malcolm Wellmaker is 10-0 because he fought a bunch of cab drivers. And he's about to fight another cab driver. No, he's fighting another ass kicker from the regional scene who's on a 4-fight win streak and knocked everybody out. Like, you fought the wrong dude. But the real difference here to me is I heard coaching. I saw receptive coaching. I saw fundamental fighting. I saw shelling up when it mattered. I saw the proper defense and distance. And then on the other side, Malcolm Wellmaker, at some point, he just starts swinging as hard as he can. It was in the second round. You can see him loading up his strikes and just trying to land something. He's just trying to be spectacular. And all of it missed. Go back and watch it. It's in the second round. He just fucking misses everything. And that's because when you're used to watching guys fall and you're used to walking through people at your own gym or in your fights, and then you get into this in Madison Square Garden and it doesn't happen. I don't need this guy getting interviews, the hype. I don't need to hear his story or see pictures from him at the plant. Every fighter in the UFC started from humble beginnings to get here. Essentially, every fight. Rich people don't need to be fighting. So we get it, man. You had that long journey and you got there. So what? You're 31 years old. You either got to improve and get better, or you're just going to fade away into obscurity. And I don't think Malcolm Wellmaker's a great fighter. You've never once heard me say he's a great fighter. Not once. Not after watching every single one of those knockouts for the last 3 fights now. I've just never been like, yo, Mel Wellmaker, this guy's going to the top. You've never heard me talk like that. Loner Kavanaugh, you've heard me say it. And I've watched Loner Kavanaugh lose. And I still think Loner Kavanaugh is a far greater prospect. It's like when you see fighters and you know what you're looking at, you know when to recognize. And it's not a fraud check. It's not a fraud check. It's a hype check. Right? It's a hype check. All the UFC fans, the MMA fans, all these dudes online, them fucking losers, they said, oh my God, every parlay was crushed. Malcolm Wellmaker lost. I know every parlay was crushed. Why were you parlaying this dude? What are you talking about? This isn't a real fighter. Like, this isn't it. Every parlay was, and I wrote to them, and I said, no, he didn't crush a single parlay of mine. Malcolm Wellmaker, very limited fighter, tremendous athlete. I think it's an awesome rags to riches story, as they're trying to say, right? Rags to riches. You better start investing your money. I mean that. I know a guy, what's his name? Aaron Brown. He's on TikTok, Aaron Brown. He made $9,000 in 1 month on TikTok 2 years ago. And he went to New York with 2 of his best friends. They blew all the money. They're college students. He made $9,000 on TikTok. I made it. I'm a content creator. And he went to New York and he paid for this, and they threw a block party. And they blew all the money and they put it on videos. And I remember I was sitting there in my 2-bedroom townhouse, and I had just made $6,000 that month. And I said, how is this kid going to go blow that? He doesn't have retirement. He doesn't have pension. He doesn't have anything. He's going to he's going to make another $9,000 the next month, and the next month, and the next month. And I remember the next month, he was talking toxic online, and TikTok banned his account, and he went back to 0 followers, 0 money, and he just talked arrogantly, and he just said, "Oh, I'm gonna bounce back. I'm gonna make more money." He's never made more than $2,000 in a month ever again. His career's over. He thinks he's going to keep building and keep doing this, and this is what he can do for a living and all this stuff. And I just kept grinding, kept focused. And then I started making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. And it never stopped. And I never once took all my friends to New York and blew it on a block party. I've never bought a chain, right? There's maturity to this, and there's understanding and foresight and just work ethic. And I look at Malcolm Wellmaker, and I just don't see the path to getting, like, they started interviewing him like he's going to be a future MMA star. I've seen flashes in the pan like this. I've seen dudes like this who don't amount to shit. I think he's going to fall apart. He's 31 years old. I don't see him getting any better. Speaking of falling apart, beautiful Tracy Cortez. Hey, you can see her. It's working. Shout out to her. She got her ass whooped in this fight. So she initially started off winning the first round. Decent striking. We know she's a good wrestler. And her striking was on point. It looked comparable to Erin Blanchfield. And that worried me for a little bit. It really did. But the thing about Erin Blanchfield is she looked pretty big in this fight. She looked a little heavy. But Erin Blanchfield has the ability to adjust. Striking's not working out. Let's go do this. And you heard their corner. They had a strategy and a plan. It's everything I just talked about. If your striking's not going to get it done, can you transition to grappling and wrestling and then win the fight that way? That's why it's called MMA, mixed martial arts. Do every single aspect of it. And I look at Erin Blanchfield, and she can do that thing. Yeah, she's got 2 losses in her whole life. Good luck getting her out of there. Okay, so did Tracy Cortez before this fight. But I'm looking at Erin Blanchfield. She fought tremendously. And then you get a submission. But you could see her after the fight. She was very emotional. She started crying. And she threw her mouthpiece and all this stuff. I think that she was fighting with nervous determination. And I like fighters like that. I don't think that she can win the belt. She said she was paying attention to the championship fight, and she's thinking about this and doing all this. And it's unfortunate. There's just limitations to women's MMA. So we'll see what happens. But Erin Blanchfield's a very good fighter. She wrestles tremendously well. She hits hard. She hits almost like a dude. She hits hard. Tracy Cortez, she's sex sells. Sex sells. She's a lot prettier than she is a fighter. She's not terrible. Not at all. Let's go. RoboCop, Roman Kopylov. Before the fight, I told you guys I like RoboCop in this. Number one, I'll always take RoboCop if they're going to be like an equivalent fight. It's 3 rounds instead of 5. Yes, he struggled in a 5-round fight. Got it. But in a 3-round fight, he can pace himself, and he hits hard enough to make you like, yo, stay out the kitchen. You don't want to be here. Like, he hits that hard. Like, it's like, yo, that shit hurts. Roman Kopylov is a dog. He does throw good strikes, body strikes, and all this stuff. But I wasn't worried about this fight. We hit it. We got it right. 30-27 sounds about right. I don't know what round Roman Kopylov won. That's stupid. 29-28. Check that judge again. But Roman Kopylov is a boxer. Got no real grappling to him. He's got a terrible nose and a terrible face, which means he wears damage terribly. So you want to take the other fighter most of the time if it's going to be an equivalent fight. But if they're going to give you this type of stuff, just go do it, Robo. Just go do it. Even Roman Kopylov was getting beat up so bad, he shot takedowns. Shout out to him. But RoboCop got up. RoboCop's the oldest 33-year-old you ever see in your life. He really is, because he's not 33. These motherfuckers are lying. So RoboCop, congratulations. You're winning fights. You're hitting hard. He's not the greatest fighter in the world, but he's good enough. Bo Nickel, an easy win for us. I think I made this a lock for the night. Win by head kick, which is never saw that coming. But he was already beating the shit out of Rodolfo Vieira. Rodolfo Vieira is a very strong man, but he's not a dangerous man. I want to say this. They call him the black belt hunter. He probably is really good in a gi. They were talking about he's a traditional jiu-jitsu fighter, meaning he wears a gi, and that's the bathrobe. He wears a gi when he goes to fight in the gym and do his things. When you're fighting in a gi, you have cross-collar chokes, and you have like all kinds of fancy submissions. You can do a sleeve choke and all these other different chokes. You can do a bunch of stuff with your gi. If you don't have a gi, there's not so many things you can hold on to. You can't grab the same amount of things. So while Rodolfo Vieira is probably a world-class gi jiu-jitsu practitioner, when we don't have on our gis, what can he really do? So he's not a great wrestler. He can't get takedowns. You're not going to get a takedown against Bo Nickel anyways. Bo Nickel's a tremendous wrestler, world-class. So you're talking about Vieira not being able to get a takedown. So then when is he going to be in position to get a submission? Never. Because if he's not on top, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's on his back. He's just not that dangerous. And so we know that's not going to happen. Now, is he going to beat you in punching and striking? This is an average striker. If we can never get it to the ground, he's just an average guy going around the box. He's strong. He's been fighting a long time, but there's nothing exceptional about his striking. He would be a C-level striker. He would never be in the UFC just for his striking. So, but he's in the UFC and can't utilize the reason why he's here. So he's just a very, very mid fighter. And I mean that. So Bo Nickel was a lock. He's not going to lose this fight. He can actually hit hard. He's physically strong. He can bang. And he bounces back from a loss. And it looked in dominant fashion to do it. And then the head kick was just beautiful. So shout out to Bo Nickel. I'll take him all day. I hope he fights that Suskinov dude. And I hope he puts him in a motherfucking... Like, he could fit Suskinov in a cargo pocket. He's that good. He just fold him up and put him in his cargo pocket and reach back in there when he needs him, like like a little snack or something. Yeah, I'm taking Bo Nickel all day. Great fighter. Physically strong, fighting smart, defensively responsible. I understand he's scared about going to the deep end and getting exhausted again. The last fight was against RDR, Rainer de Ritter. He got kneed to the body a lot and broken. That's some bullshit, man. It happens, but we're going to take Bo Nickel every time. No fear. Taking a guy off a loss and I made him a lock. No fear over here. Speaking of no fear, Benoit Saint Denis has no fear. He's not afraid of a dude who misses weight. Once again, another fighter missing weight. You can never believe in fighters who miss weight. Beneil Dariush misses weight and shows up and doesn't fight at all. He got knocked out, apparently. It was a quick stoppage, but I think it was the right one. And Beneil Dariush is just... I don't think he was ready for this fight. I don't think he prepared for it properly. And I didn't see a world where he was going to win it anyways. Shout out to Benoit Saint Denis. I still don't know much about him when there's adversity going. Like, I've seen him quit before, but he's a monster. He's going to go smash. He's going to push forward. You can trust that he's going to give it his best effort. I don't think he's an exceptional fighter, but he's got a lot of heart. So he's a Chepe kind of type-esque, kind of, not really. Bad comparison. Either way, what am I trying to say here? It's 16 seconds, bro. What kind of assessment can I give off of 16 seconds? I can just tell you that Beneil Dariush is a good fighter. He really is. I've seen him fight for many, many minutes and hours and all this stuff. He's a good fighter. This was not a good showing. And I think this is the type of shit where you look at it and go, oh, that's fixed. But I'll gladly take the fix. Because he didn't put up a fight at all. Carlos Prates, Leon Edwards. one of the MVPs said, "Man, Rico shit all over Leon Edwards in the pre-fight." Yeah, I did. I don't like people with no heart. I don't like you if you're a quitter. You'll never work for me in a million years. I tell you guys this all the time. Like in the military, quitting is just, oh man, it's so frowned upon. And if I have soldiers that quit in front of me, I know their name for all the wrong reasons moving forward. Like if I just see you just quit on a ruck march, quit on a run, quit on a workout, quit on anything, any task, whatever, you just tap out, I'm stressed, I gotta go home, whatever it is, bro. I just know, okay, well, when push comes to shove, in the heat of the moment, you're a quitter, and I don't believe in you. And so why am I talking about this? Leon Edwards didn't quit in this fight. He just got knocked out. But when you have a quitter's heart, when it's in you, if you got a lot of quit in you, you got a THS, tiny heart syndrome, uh, that'll reflect and that'll show itself in training. You'll quit doing drills. You'll quit in rounds. You'll quit at practice. You'll quit in sparring. You'll quit all the time. You just take a break off. Hey, man, I can't push any harder. So Leon Edwards, to me, he probably quits every day. And the results in the cage are a byproduct of him quitting every day. I promise you, bro. He probably quits. He probably went out to go get a victory dinner and quit eating his burger. He wouldn't even finish it. That dude doesn't do anything with all his heart in him. Yeah, he ain't it. He sucks. I don't like Leon Edwards. I don't. Fuck him. And shout out to the British. I don't like him. Carlos Pratis. You guys know I have never picked Carlos Pratis in. I didn't pick him against who was that guy? The dude who lets his wife sleep with his ex. Anyways, no. So Carlos Pratis, I just don't like him because he's not professional. He smokes cigarettes. He's drinking. He's partying. But he is a tremendously gifted person. They're telling me these guys are 1 inch apart in height. But Carlos Pratis has the shortest torso you ever see. So he's all legs. He's all arms. And he just throws. He throws hard because when it lands, people get knocked the hell out. So shout out to Carlos Pratis. We made him a lock, and I don't like him. The reason I wasn't betting on Carlos Pratis as a lock. Like I wasn't saying Carlos Pratis is an ass kicker. I believe in him, and this is why he should be a lock. No, I was betting against Leon Edwards. I just said, well, we're going to have equivalent athletes in the cage. I'm not going to pick you, Leon Edwards. I've seen your coaches want it more than you. I've heard them. Come on, Leon. You gotta want it. Come on, Leon. And the guys, cage side, going, well, look, he threw the head kick when he needed. Man, that was a desperation head kick, and it just landed. This guy sucks. Fuck Leon. Took a dirt nap right in the middle of the cage, and shout out to Carlos Pratis getting it done. Good luck, Carlos. I don't know who you're gonna fight. If you're gonna be fighting this dude right here, Michael Morales, I'm taking Carlos Pratis. I'm taking Carlos Pratis to beat Michael Morales for all the wrong reasons. Shout out to him. So Sean Brady, Michael Morales. I told you Sean Brady's got to get a takedown and then just hump this dude, just kind of like the main event. Same thing. But Sean Brady went out there and tried to strike. I don't understand it. If your skill set is wrestling and that's what you're supposed to be doing, go be a wrestler. Now you got to put strikes in front of it to get a takedown. I got all that. Go be a wrestler, bro. You shot one takedown. One takedown attempt. Nah. You can't be striking. You can't be striking. You're going to get fucking served up. Now, Michael Morales. I don't think he's that good of a striker. Go back and watch it. It's a lot of weird striking. It's like almost clubbing, like whack-a-mole. You go to Little Caesars and you got to hit the little moles. He's like, that's how he punches. It's just hammer fisting, but he's doing it while standing. It's like a girl fight. But he's so strong. He got a lot of feminine energy in his strikes. I'm serious. I'm not joking. But it's so strong. Some of them gay dudes beat up the straight dudes all the time. I see it outside the club. Dudes swinging with that tank top on and that bare midriff. Yeah, it's not Talbot. It's somebody else. You know what I'm talking about. Shout out to Michael Morales, man. Undefeated, 19-0. Exceptional athlete. Exceptional athlete. Goes out here, and people are afraid to fight him. I need people to know this. He's enormous. He looks physically stronger than anyone in the division. He's huge. I know they had a game plan. They were out here with a lower stance, getting ready to fight and defend the takedowns and all this stuff. But I like that because that means they worked on it in camp. But if we just watch him naturally fighting, you just go here, click the watch button. Maybe you guys don't have the pay-per-view, but I'm just saying, you can go watch it. I don't want to get a copyright violation, but I just want you to know. Like, he just starts striking, and in the chaos, it's not concise. It's not sharp. It's looping. and it's not straight. And that's why I would take Carlos Prates over him, is because Carlos Prates' strikes are straight and they're vicious. And Michael Morales is kind of looping, and they're clubbing, and they're powerful because he's an explosive athlete. But it's not, if we're going to go, have you ever run a roundabout? I run in my neighborhood. I run in a country club here. We have a roundabout. I have a couple of them. And if you ever have to run around the roundabout, it just takes forever to get around them. But if you ran straight through, you'd be right through that intersection. But you do the right thing. You don't want to run over the flowers and the grass and everything, so you run around them. But if you needed to, you run straight through. Man, it's geometry, right? Geometry. What is it? Radius? Circumference? Fucking with you guys. Listen, man, Michael Morales throws looping strikes, and I don't like it. But he's undefeated. He's an exceptional athlete, and people are afraid to get in that pocket with him, and rightfully so. We'll see what happens. Shout out to him. Sean Brady, still a great wrestler, limited striking, diminutive in size, but he has a very big back. Like, he's very strong, but this was a bad matchup for him, and it showed. Got absolutely starched in 3 minutes. Speaking of bad matchup, and it showed, so silly. This reminded me of a science experiment, and there's just no need for it. This is silly. Felt dumb. Felt like a waste of time. I took Wei I saw, I'm going to be honest. I saw Wei Lee. Who did she lift? She lifted some heavyweight. It was on Instagram. I saw her lifting like an MMA fighter. Another guy, like 260-pound dude, lift him up off the ground or something. I forgot who it was. Oh, she lifted Shaq. He was 300 pounds. Francis. It was Shaq. Shout out to Jiggy. Shout out to you over here. I don't know who this is, but I watched her lift somebody in the videos because I know these fighters. I've watched them fight for 10 years. Like, I know who the hell they are, right? I got it. But I have to figure out whether or not Zhang Weili, moving up in weight, is going to be able to physically handle Valentina Shevchenko. So then I see her lift somebody 300 pounds or so, 260, 280, whatever that is. And I go, oh, this little fucker's strong. I love the way she fights. I already know that they're both explosive athletes. I got all that. I go, okay. I saw her lift a man. She's got to be able to do this in the cage. She can lift a girl weighs 135 pounds, 125 pounds. What's she going to weigh on fight night? Come on, man. She got this. What the fuck? Biggest propaganda shit I ever saw, bro. She had no chance in this fight. The reach was evident. The lack of reach. She couldn't get in the pocket and do anything. 13 minutes of control time. What's really important here is Shevchenko lands 5 out of 6 takedowns. She just gets every takedown she needed to once a round and then just conserved energy. Didn't do anything to try to beat her up. And I'm still looking at Shevchenko like she's not that good. She's a champ. She's there. But she's not looking to finish fights. She's GSP in these people. She's playing the sport MMA. There was no submission attempts here. There really wasn't. There was no intent to do damage and fight with bad intentions. Sometimes you're fighting a world-class athlete, and so you play it smart and safe. But I don't even think she was playing it safe and doing it. I just don't think she has that in her anymore. I think Valentina Shevchenko is going towards the latter part of her career where there's nothing left to do. She started calling out people she wanted to fight, but it's just a bunch of little people, right? Silva, it's like not real to me. So no one's going to beat her because they can't physically handle her or whatever, and she can just outpoint you, and she's good enough and all these other skill sets and stuff. But you're going to just take her go the distance. Just take her go the distance because she's not trying to finish anything. So shout out to her. I'm just not impressed with, like, if you're that big of a bully, if you got that weight advantage, that strength advantage where you can get the takedown with fucking double overhooks, not underhooks, double overhooks, then go finish the fight, bro. You want to big brother somebody? Like in the street somewhere, if you did that shit, we would have been like, oh, you didn't win. All you did was hug him. You got a takedown, you landed on top, you're in the mount, and you don't do any damage from the mount at all. Where's the elbows? Where's the arm triangle? Do something. Finish it, or let's just start raining down. Posture up and rain it down. Oh, we can't posture, bro. Okay, well, then ride and do damage. Do something. Shevchenko did not move me like that. She didn't, man. And I got it. She dominated this whole fight. It was fucking snooze fest. It was so boring. I had to get up and go walk and talk to Kim. Remember, these fights are like 1 a.m. or something. I had to go talk to Kim in the loft. She was next door in the loft watching the fights. And I went and sat with her. And I never sit with her during the live streams. I sit with you guys here. And I live stream with all of you MVPs. I live stream with everybody on TikTok. I'm chilling. and I had to get up and go for a walk because I would have fell asleep. Shit was boring. Now, Zhang Weili, it reminded me of Adesanya. You guys remember when Adesanya moved up, and I thought he had to fight Jan Blachowicz, and he didn't stand a chance. You don't move up to 205 and try to be a double champ. Take your ass back down the street. You don't belong up here. That kind of deal. Zhang Weili, yeah, you don't belong up here. You're just not big enough. You can gain 10 pounds, but you can't gain 10 pounds of muscle. 10 pounds of muscle takes a while. I don't know. I'm not some type of fitness expert, but I do know I work out every day. I've been working out my whole life, and I can tell you that if you're going to gain 10 pounds of muscle, it's going to take you a while. It's not going to be a couple months, and then you show up and make it applicable. So, unfortunately for her, she lost the fight. Didn't learn anything about these fighters other than they probably shouldn't be fighting each other. Right? Zhang Weili, you move up a weight class, you should probably fight someone in the top 5 before you move to the champ. I think that should be the rule for everybody. Except for Islam, huh? Islam went out here and did the same exact thing. This is rinse and repeat. Both fights were the same. Just a little different. JDM probably should have never been the champ. Let's be real. Probably should have never been the champ. If Bilal knew how to wrestle and do his job, he would have still had the belt. But nobody's beating this Islam Makhachev guy. Not the way they're fighting him right now. Number one, you got to throw with real intentions. You got to throw hard. You got to be able to fight a takedown. And you can't. The dude's a chimp. Dude's got the grip. And this is where the MMA world is right now. This one was even more lopsided than the girls. Because this was the little guy moving up to do what he wants. I think this guy, Islam Makhachev, could win the next belt. I think he can go up to like 185 and win a belt. I'm not even joking. Because the more weight he gains, the stronger he gets. Now, he did look a little slow and plotty. It didn't matter. He threw a calf kick here and there. I don't care about any of that. This whole thing is about takedowns and going for the same submissions he's been getting for the last couple fights. This time, JDM obviously drilled to get out of those. But when you listen to JDM, his corner wanted it more than him. His corner was saying, what are you doing in a half guard? Why aren't you doing what we trained you to do? And the reality is when you get exhausted in the cage, you revert back to your muscle memory. You revert back to what you've been doing. So while you go through camp, and in camp, for an extended period of time, they'll say, hey, let's focus on this. We're fighting a fighter who does this, so we're going to do this. And you say all those things, and you drill them till they become muscle memory, theoretically. But they're not ingrained in your DNA. They're not who you are hardwired to be. So at some point, you're going to get exhausted, and your body's just going to subconsciously do what you've always done. And that happens all the time to these fighters. When they get exhausted, the game plan goes out the window and they can't duplicate what they're supposed to be doing in the training. And that's JDM. He was in the cage. He terrible. Didn't do anything that they asked him to do. Didn't listen to his coaches ever. Just kept fighting the way he wanted to fight. Just dumb. I'd even watch him waste energy to get back to his feet with 10 seconds left in the round. Like, let's say there's 30 seconds left in the round. They can see the clock. Their corner's yelling it out. 30 seconds. You have to think to yourself, did I lose this round? If you lost the round, there is 0 point in wasting energy to get back to your feet. 0. And they'll fight tooth and nail to sweep, submit, try to get a feet. Like, what are you doing? You already lost the round. Just chill, bro. You get it back next fight, next round. There's 5 of these things. He kept getting back to his feet with like 20 seconds left. What are you doing? You're just wasting energy. You weren't going to win the round anyways. It just feels like there was a game plan issue here. There's a talent discrepancy here. He just doesn't have the talent. I saw Ilya Taporia say he needs to do a camp with just wrestling and only wrestling for like 6 months or something like that. That's not going to didn't do anything. This is a striker. This is a guy who strikes. And if you play a game of rock, paper, scissors, and the only thing you have is a fucking rock, you're going to lose when a guy goes paper. Like every single time. Every single time. You're going to lose every fucking time. You got to have all 3 weapons to be worth the damn in the fight game. He doesn't have them. So that's what it is. Islam, just doing what he does. I don't know who he fights next. I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know who wants to fight him. I don't know who's signing up to fight this chimp, but I'm not interested. Shout out to you, MVPs. I'm glad we smashed in the UFC. We also had a tremendous day in college football. Some of you might not have, but we did. I know I did. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows that result show's coming right up. Peace.